Hey, the numbness is starting to wear off in my face. I actually drank a little bit of tea without it running down the side. You want to stir this up so that the apples on the top get cooked too, and eventually you're going to cook this down. We like our applesauce chunky, so I'm not going to puree it. The recipe says to puree it, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep stirring it until it's cooked enough, and then we'll taste it for sugar and spices. This is about 15 pounds of apples. Yum. The recipe says to cook it down and then in small batches transfer it and puree it. We don't really want ours pureed, so it's coming out nice. I'm just going to use this old potato masher to break it up a little bit. Help it along, you might say. Now you can see it's really turning into applesauce, but it's been cooking for hours, steaming up the camera. But I'm going to let it cook a while more so it gets nice and saucy. And then we'll add some, the sugar is actually optional. There's so much sugar in apples that you can actually make applesauce without sugar. But we'll probably add some. We'll add the spices first, see how it tastes, and then make the decision about the sugar. We're getting there. So we added about a tablespoon of cloves and a tablespoon of cinnamon, and after doing some taste testing, decided that it really didn't need the sugar after all. So we're going to go ahead and can it. Hi, it's Jeannie from Gardening Jones. The Novocain is worn off enough that I can talk to you now. I spent pretty much the whole day after the dentist appointment making applesauce. And it's not like you have to stand there and watch it, but it does take a long time. And we did get, we had 7 pints in the first batch here that have all sealed, and we have 2 more in the canning pot, and another one that wasn't quite full enough. So if you go with 10, then they cost a little over $2 a piece. So the question is, did we save money? No. Had we owned an apple tree, yes, absolutely. I do have a neighbor nearby that I think next year at this time I'm going to look at maybe bartering some apples for applesauce, because I don't think he's using his apples. They just seem to be landing on the shed and on the ground and not getting used at all. But I wanted to compare it to what we were buying, which is Musselman's. It's a good applesauce, non-GMO, but I don't think they're GMOing apples yet anyway. And the ingredients are just basically apples, sugar, and citric acid to preserve the color. It's 5.5 cups. We paid, I think we paid $3, but the normal price is $3.50. We got it on sale. What we bought, what we made, it's still pretty hot, is 2 cups, and it cost about $2. So really the Musselman's was cheaper, and had we bought the generic brand, that would be less expensive too. But this has sugar in it. They probably make a non-sugar variety. The one we made was without sugar. The one we made is chunky. The one we made has ginger and cloves to our taste in it. So we're probably going to like this significantly better. I mean, himself was actually adding cinnamon to the Musselman. So they might make a cinnamon one. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with store-bought applesauce. The shelf life is about the same for both. So, if you're a working person, to make your own applesauce is probably not worth it. If you have an apple tree, it absolutely is worth it. And if you're a working person with an apple tree, see if you might have a neighbor that cans, because they might be more than willing to can up some of those apples and share what they make. And like I said, that's what I intend to do next year. It did take a long time. I got back, I think, from the dentist 10:30, and it's now pushing 6 o'clock and I still have some applesauce in the canner. But it's not like I stood here all day watching it. You know, this was just something that he cut up the apples, thank you, Bill, because it saved me so much time. And he did the taste test, and as the food service person, I totally trust his opinion, and he really is more of an applesauce person than I am. But it's something to consider, and it's something, a skill. I was a licensed food processor when we owned our restaurant, so I know how to do it properly. Everything's sterile, you know, keep everything clean. I have videos, at least 1 or 2 videos up there on how to do it. But, and now I have nice clean teeth that can handle the sugar. Anyway, that's how you make your own applesauce. Your call. Like I said, if you can get your hands on free apples and make either applesauce, apple butter, apple juice, takes a little bit more effort because you have to strain everything. Apple jelly also takes more effort because you have to strain everything. Apple jam doesn't because you can make it nice and chunky. But our favorite is applesauce with the spices that I like from apple butter, but without the sugar and the carbohydrates. Apples are one of the few foods that you can without adding something to help preserve it, like sugar, or in the case of salsa, vinegar, or lemon juice, or something. Sugar usually, or an acid. Usually with fruit it's sugar. But apples, they actually make pectin out of apples. So apples are so high in sugar they actually can be canned without adding sugar. And I'll put the recipe at the end. Thank you to Ball Canning Company, Jardin Limited, and I'll put all the information down below. They have given me permission to share their recipes. A lot of people just take them, and I don't think that's right. I think, you know, they worked hard on them. They should get some credit. So thank you very much for watching. Be patient with my dental issues, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.